So you were doing that before. You were kind of like in the markets and advising on investments and stuff, and then you switched to do the more optimization, tax optimization, stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely. But I still got my butt kicked in real estate in 2008 because, listen to this,
I was
June.
going to ask you that because you had mentioned in a group that you lost a lot of money in 2008 and you learned a bunch of lessons that helped you come out of that, and now you're able to give people advice during this COVID crisis. Yeah. So I was hoping to get into that.
This is what happened. I bought real estate from 2002 to 2007. I had over 100 doors. I owned between 20% and 100% of each one of those properties. And in June of 2007,
where did you put all the doors?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
no, I don't know the lingo, but I just pictured like you had 2,000 doors.
Okay, some were fourplexes, so that's 4 doors, or duplex, okay. Or single family. So I own
around real estate lingo is how many houses did you have, or how many doors?
Just over 100 properties.
100, okay,
or something.
That's a lot.
So I had this event called How to Think Like a Bank, right? And it was in June. And as I'm teaching it, I have this epiphany. I'm like, the banks don't own real estate. Real estate's only their backup plan. It's their backup plan. And I'm like, here I am playing this real estate game that I don't love because I'm dealing with getting financing. I'm dealing with deferred maintenance issues and property managers, and someone slipped and hurt their hip. And I mean, it's just all sorts of stuff that was taking away from the things I enjoyed. And I was like, this is also like really, really overinflated. So in June, I go, I'm going to sell all my real estate. Now I go to all my partners. I said, let's sell. And one of my partners says, yeah, we should sell, but man, we should do 10 to 20% over market ask and then see if we sell some. And unfortunately, Brad, we did. So we sold some at above market ask. And I started thinking, oh my God, I'm going to make a killing. And because I was greedy, I got killed, because then all of a sudden, IndyMac, Countrywide, some of these major lenders went out of business. And if you had more than 4 loans, banks didn't want to lend you another dollar. So I had a lot more than 4 loans. And all of a sudden, my partners are like, hey, we're out. We don't want to deal with this mess. And I'm left holding all these properties. And simply out of sheer greed, I held on just too long, even though my intuition, even though everything I saw was, hey, real estate's overvalued. But what I didn't see, which is the same thing that was impossible to see in 2020, is I didn't see that you could have, in the matter of one day, I was speaking at a mortgage conference, and in one day, 2 major institutions went out and people were having that 3-day look back period where they've signed the documents, but no mortgage broker's been paid because the loan can be rescinded. Everyone at the conference had all their loans that had closed over that 3-day period rescinded. They didn't fund. So all of a sudden, the lending dries up. Okay. And what you got to realize is people don't buy real estate based upon what the purchase price is. They buy real estate for the most part based upon the payment. And these artificially low interest rate environments have had people get bigger homes than they can afford. And when you buy a home, then you go, oh, I need a water filtration system or a water softener, or we need furniture. I can't have this tiny TV. I got to get a plasma. Like, there's so many expenses that come with that. And that creates a very, very stretched thin budget and financial situation that makes this extraordinarily fragile. Once again, caught up in consumerism and purchasing, not fulfillment. And I would even say minimalism. I mean, hell, I like nice stuff. You've seen me, you know me, but at the same time, I just had a philosophy that I never borrow to consume. I pay cash. I have a loan on the house I'm sitting in now, but that's because I don't plan on being here long-term, and it's fully financed. There's no equity in this thing. Actually, I tried to talk my wife into selling it in January. I said, look, we got a paid off cabin as nice as this house. Let's just live up there because this market's going to tank. Now, once again, COVID-19, my definition of tank was we'd lose 10, 15% in real estate this year. I think it's going to be a lot worse than that, Brad. Because you can't know all the factors. All you can do is say, what can you control? How can you manage cash flow? How can you invest in the things that you know? If you don't know, don't invest. If you're not sure what to do with it, put it in some cash value policies like I talk about and what would the Rockefellers do. And really stay in your lane and don't get caught up in other things that you know nothing about, because that invites risk and it destroys people's finances.
So in 2008-9, then you were just over leveraged. You had this entrepreneur spirit going where you had already left your financial advisor business and you were doing this now full time, or
2005, I gave up my financial licenses. I had gotten one, and I actually retested for the RIA, Registered Investment Advisor, when I came out with Killing Sacred Cows, because my attorneys thought I might need to have it for some of the advice I was giving, but
Okay.
not an author exemption. So I was pretty much done in 2005, as far as I wasn't selling life insurance one-on-one anymore. I'd stopped doing, stocks and funds and everything back in 2000, at the end of 2002. So I had created a program that was more based around, you write us a check, so you know exactly what you pay, and we produce results, and we build a financial team for you. So still doing that to this day. And
so this real estate thing was more like just a side gig that just ballooned up into a big money profit center for you, but then it blew up in your face when the real estate market crashed.
Here's the real reason I got into real estate, if I'm candid. I'm sitting there in a wedding line. I'm one of the groomsmen, and the groomsman's sitting next to me. He goes, you know, so many people, you have access to so much, and yet you've never invested in real estate. He goes, how many books have you read that talk about how the wealthy store their money in real estate? I was like, yeah, I should do that. So I started a hard money lending fund, which did bridge financing for real estate.
The obvious next step, start a hard money lending fund.
And I started.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
So when you have an amazing real estate deal come up and you need cash quickly, you go to a bridge financer or a hard money lender that says, okay, yeah, I'll give you a short-term loan. Okay. It's going to be expensive. You might have to pay 5 points to get this loan up front, and it's a 10% loan in addition to that until you can secure bank financing.
Is that like a secondary lender, mortgage lender kind of a thing?
Yeah. You're not a bank. You're just simply a lender. But you're doing short-term loans until they get their long-term financing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we were doing incredible with it until the banks were like, cool, we're done lending in 2008. And so all of a sudden we had great deals that nobody wanted to buy real estate or refinance the real estate. So now we're sitting on a bunch of real estate that's not performing. So I did it simply out of sheer greed. I had no passion for real estate. I didn't want to learn about it every day. It was simply a way for me to keep building my net worth and growing that. And the reality was, it was a massive distraction. And around finance, a lot of people get distracted in these kind of things because they go, oh, I've heard it's a good investment. The question is, a good investment for whom? Is it a good investment for you? Are you going to be an expert in it? Are you going to treat it like a business? Are you going to learn about it? Are you going to increase your skill set? Are you going to have a financial team around it? Because I think one of the problems people have around investing is they go, oh, I know so-and-so, they're really smart, so I just give my money to them. Oh, really? First, do you think they're going to care more about your money than you do? Because if you do, you're going to be surprised, right? And how are they getting paid? And when the shit hits the fan, who's holding the bag? And that's what I didn't really recognize. And look, I permanently learned those lessons in 2008, which I've told my family. We're prepared for this situation now because of those lessons. I went through the pain of not feeling freedom. That's why I got my gray hair, right? And dude, it made for a difficult ass marriage because I was an asshole during that time. I was grouchy. I felt like a failure. I mean, if I was being really authentic about it. And so one is, I just want to let everybody know, you are not your mistakes if you're struggling right now. There are major global ramifications in economics that no one can fully predict or understand. All you can control is your own personal economy. And if you're feeling guilt or shame right now, that is not helpful to you. You've really got to let that go and say, what can you do moving forward? What steps can you take today? And just do the best that you can. You are not your money. You are not your net worth. What we all are, when it really comes down to it, are human beings. And what you can do is just be willing to be supported, be willing to be helped, and be willing to help others. That's the formula through this. Anything else other than that is false, it's a lie, and it's misleading.